Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hello Dave. We're gonna start this week off in Elite Dangerous, where Frontier has made a new financial statement, as they do from time to time, as they are a publicly traded company. In this statement, Frontier comes with some rather interesting news regarding Elite Dangerous Odyssey. Nothing that's gonna have any impact on the game, like it's not in the short term, but it was, at least for me as a non-native English speaker, it was a little difficult to understand at first. If you're a native English speaker, if you read it, it might have been easier to understand, but I would assume a lot of the non-native English speakers would probably have a hard time understanding exactly what it is Frontier is doing here. I at least had to go and talk to some of the portfolio managers at work and get them to read it and explain it to me, because, I mean, they read these kind of things for a living, so I would expect that they could understand it. When you're valuing a company, any company, you're looking at, of course, if the company owns like a building, and you're looking at the value of that building, and that value then is, of course, part of the company's value, as it is something the company owns. And just like you do that with physical assets, you do the same thing with digital assets. So if they own anything digital, that could be Elite Dangerous Odyssey, for instance, then you try to value what that what that piece of software or digital thing that you own, what that is worth, and then that goes into the value of the company. And it is quite common that a company will write off its assets slowly over time. I have a company that runs this YouTube channel. I am the sole employee in the company, but it is a company nonetheless. And when I go out and I buy a camera, or I buy a microphone or lights or whatever I'm buying to use in the daily work that I do making YouTube videos, I will write off, let's say, a camera over a certain number of years. So I'm going to say when I buy it, I'm expecting this camera to last 7 years, maybe 5-7 years, something like that. And that's the time when I expect maybe not it's for it to stop working, but for it to be needing to be replaced with something newer, right? In order to keep up with the development of technology. So I will simply say price of camera, and then every year I will then, if I expect it to last 7 years, I'll take 1/7 of that price, cut it off until after 7 years. It is, at least accounting-wise, valued at nothing. Even though the camera may still be worked just as well as it did the day I bought it, accounting-wise, it has been written off. What Frontier has done now with Elite Dangerous Odyssey is essentially the same thing, just they've moved a little faster than they were first expecting. See, they wanted to of course, write off Elite Dangerous Odyssey over time. But what the board at Frontier has done now is they've said they are, by the end of this, for their financial year 2022, which they ended at the end of May, they're going to just completely, fully write off Elite Dangerous Odyssey. That means accounting-wise, Frontier is now saying that Elite Dangerous Odyssey has no value for Frontier as a company anymore. That is essentially what they've done. They've taken that usual write-off process where you would write it off bit by bit every year, and they're saying we're going to fully pay it off now. Just not paid off. Any money's not changing hands, but accounting-wise, they're saying that Odyssey no longer possesses any value. Now, it should be very clear that, and they also state this in the statement, that this has no impact on like cash flow or cash balance. That means the money that is already allocated for developing and the future updates we have planned for Odyssey, that's not going to change. They're still there. This is purely like an accounting thing they're doing. And they make it very clear, cash flow, cash balance, that's still the same. Nothing has changed. It's just as it was before. And they even state in the same little paragraph that they are still expecting to have a profit from Elite Dangerous Odyssey, even after they have deducted this, I think it's £7 million that they have used for writing off Odyssey. If they deduct that, they're still expecting to make a profit of Odyssey this year. I hope that clears it up. I have seen some talk about it here and there, where people were a little in doubt what exactly this means, or maybe having a hard time to try and actually explain or figure out what's going on here. So I hope this clears it up a little bit. Over in Star Citizen 3.17.2, again, these minor updates that I usually wouldn't talk much about, but they keep growing and they keep adding new stuff to them. So I feel like I still want to go and cover them. If it were like, usually these like minor point updates should just be like bug fixes and stuff and things, but they keep having new things that they're going to add into the game. And this time around in 3.17.2, of course, we get the new dynamic event out on Odyssey, where we're going to be fighting the Ninetales. There's been plenty of like small spoilers and hints going on here and there. Everybody knows it's the worst kept secret ever. Everybody knows that we're probably going to get that event going on out at Odyssey in the 3.17.2 update. 3.17.2, by the way, is currently in Evocati, and they're still, I think, making new builds for it, still testing things, so it might still be a while before we see this in public PTU. So it's gonna probably still be a few weeks before we get that, as my guess. I don't know, but I think we're still a little bit off. One of the other things they're adding is some new mission locations out on Microtech. They're experimenting with some of the new planetary mesh things they have, and also the new, basically, ships being able to come in and drop off people. The actual dropping off people is not in yet, but the new like ship navigation mechanics is in there, and also the way that NPCs can navigate around the surface has also been updated. But the two mission locations that we get is a number of derelict bases. I believe there are 5 different derelict like outposts. So these are some of the existing outposts that has now been made into derelict versions, and you can then get courier missions to go to like a I don't know, it could be an attack or something. Derelict base, basically go to that location, pick up an item and get out, and there is a 5 in 4 chance that you're going to end up at a base where there's going to be hostiles and they're going to be shooting at you, and you're going to have to be shooting back, or be very sneaky if you want to do that instead. We're also getting a derelict reclaimer. Now, I think the reclaimer is difficult to find my way around when it's in one piece. So trying to find my way around the reclaimer when it's in pieces and all kinds of broken, and I'm going to get lost inside that, I'll promise you. But derelict reclaimer, similar to the derelict outpost, is going to be working as a mission location, much like we've seen with the crashed caterpillars and those kind of things. We're now getting a derelict version of it, and it seems like they are testing it out on Microtech. I'm curious actually why they're always testing things on Microtech. I mean, we got rivers were tested out there, now we get these new settlement structures out there as well. Maybe it's because it's one of the planets with the least amount of traffic on, I would guess, because it's kind of a little bit out of the way, so maybe there's less traffic, so by testing it out there, they can do it on a smaller sample size first, or I don't know, maybe they just decided Microtech is going to be where we test stuff. I don't know. But fact of the matter is, those two things seems to be coming in 3.17.2. Again, the thing is still in Evocati. A lot of things can change, and we still have to go through a PTU phase. For the live stream tomorrow, I want to switch things up a bit, and I'm not going to be playing Elite, I'm not going to be playing Star Citizen, I'm not going to be playing No Man's Sky either. I'm actually going to pick up a game I have done videos and streams on it before. It's called Hard Space Shipbreaker, I believe. If you don't know the game, it's a spaceship salvage simulator. So you work as a like engineer or like a salvage crew, and you get spaceships and you have to cut them up in pieces and salvage stuff and things from them. I've played it a lot doing early access and beta testing, and the game is now out. It's launched, which I believe it has been for a while now, but I saw it on Steam that it was actually released now, and I thought, you know what? This is always one of those games where you pick it up and you have a really good evening, and not something I'm gonna be spending like hundreds and hundreds of hours in unless they've done something drastic. But it's a really fun game that I like to pick up from time to time and just go and cut some spaceships into pieces and make some space box out of it. So we're gonna do that tomorrow on the live stream, because I thought, you know what? You guys might enjoy that too. And it would be fun to go out and do something a little different. Not rambling. Tomorrow, Hard Space Shipbreaker. Come salvage some ships, have fun, and say hi. It's 7 o'clock GMT as usual, and it's going to be live streamed on YouTube, on Twitch. I hope I will see a lot of you guys there. Thanks a lot for watching, and also next time, I will see you guys in space.